Blimey! What a date are we? The 25th of January already. Can you believe it? Wow. So, what I thought might be really, really useful today was to give you an insight into the mind of a customer. Someone who is prepared to spend money on quality handmade products. Someone who understands that handmade is a valuable commodity, not something that should be cheap, that should be competing with the mass produced. Yeah, and it's me. So, I'm going to tell you the story about why I've bought this little guy. Which side should we put him? Let's put him outside. You can see. I say little. He's actually quite big, isn't he? But he's completely handmade. He's been handmade by Cat at Briley Bears. I'll tell you a little bit more about her as I go along. But this is Sebastian. There's his little tags, which says Briley Bears are collectible, one-of-a-kind bears, not suitable for children under the age of 14, which is a good job because I'm not under 14. Okay, so, why did I buy this bear? Right, first of all, why is this important? This is important because you need to know your ideal customer. I'm always banging on about knowing your niche, understanding your ideal customer, talking to your ideal customer and having that conversation with them. And also, I frequently say that you're not kind of immediately asking for the sale. You've got to build up a relationship with your customer first. And that's exactly the story behind this little guy. So, I've known Kat for a very, very long time now. I don't know her personally. We're not friends. I only know her through the online, wonderful world of online. Came across her. She's a member of my members club, and I've admired her work for a long time. She takes wonderful photographs, so you get to see all the details of her bears. And every time she puts a new one up, I think, wow, how amazing are they? However, they are 100 plus, 200 plus. They're not a cheap, quick impulse purchase. It's not something that you just can go, oh yeah, I like that. I'm going to have that. It'll look nice on my table and look nice on my desk. I'll have that and treat yourself to spur of the moment. It is a considered purchase. It is a long-term investment. It is something that you kind of have to think about and know that you really want to have. So I've probably known Kat a couple of years now. It's that long. And all that time I've kind of dreamt about, not dreamt, that's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but every time I see it I think, oh, one day I'll buy from Kat. Now, the important thing is here is she stays in my share of mind, partly because she's in my members club, but also partly because I'm seeing her on social media. I'm seeing emails from her. I'm seeing her presence regularly. So she's taking up this little bit of share of my mind. So I'm going to give you a little bit more of a story now. So when I was 15, my nan, it's going to get confusing, I have two nans. One was my dad's mum and one was my mum's mum. The first one, died when I was 15, was my dad's mum, okay? And when she died, I was left the grand total of £40, and I didn't want to just fritter it away. I didn't want to keep it in the bank. I wanted to spend it on something. And at the time, I'd really started liking collectible teddy bears. Not that I'd ever bought any, but I went to visit a shop in Stratford-upon-Avon, which was a teddy bear museum. Okay, and I bought this little guy. And this little guy, you can see, is not loved as in cuddled all the while, because he's not that type of teddy bear. He's quite prickly, really. He's not overly soft. But this little guy was bought in memory of my nan. It was my keepsake for my nan. Okay, and that's the story behind it. And I've only found out recently, actually, it is a handmade teddy bear. I actually Googled the tag and found out it's a handmade teddy bear. So that's fantastic. Obviously, it wasn't bought for that reason. It was just bought because I wanted something special that I could keep and treasure in memory of my nan. Okay, which I have. It's lived on my bedside table. It now lives on my desk. It's always been around. It's never gone in a box. It's always lived out. So fast forward quite a lot of years, and my mum's mum, my other nan, died in December last year. And I knew that I wanted to do something. Now, I've not inherited anything. It isn't a case of like with that one, I had specifically £40 that I knew what I wanted to do. It was nothing like that. It was completely different. This is just me going, I've done it once, I want to do it again. Hence, what a coincidence that I'm having these thoughts. These thoughts are going through my mind, and Kat, through her regular presence, through her social media, through her emails, and this was a social media post off her page. This wasn't something that I saw through the members club. This was something through the page. She posted a link up about having a 10% offer on up to a certain date in January. A week ago. The deadline was a week ago, something like that. And I went, oh, that's it. That's what I want to do. Okay, so my buying process, coming back away from the personal story, just you needed that to understand. The buying process for me had been that I'd been falling in love with all of Kat's bears over the years. Over the years, I've seen them, I've loved them, I've admired them from afar, but I've not had that purpose to buy. I've not had that reason to buy. I've not had that, that's it, I'm doing this, I'm prioritising this over something else. I'm buying this. I'm prepared now to invest that money because I've got this reason that justifies it for me. Okay, it wasn't about Kat's offer was perfectly timed for me because it gave me a deadline. It gave me a scarcity factor of the deadline. It made me make a decision. It made me do this now, and the timing was just like, wow, I'm thinking this, it comes up on my screen, perfect timing, I know what I'm doing. I didn't actually buy there and then. I still went away and considered the purchase. I had to choose which bear that I wanted for a start. So, and this is the one that I chose. He's beautiful. He really is beautiful. He's so well made. Look, his eyes folly. He really is lovely. But the purpose that I'm telling you, yes, of course, he's lovely. So I'm showing him off. But the purpose of me telling you is that you need to get to know your ideal customer. You need to take that time. You need to invest the time in your ideal customer. You need to understand their triggers. Now, obviously, my trigger is probably quite unique as far as buying a collectible bear is concerned, but it was my trigger. And the trigger was triggered, because I'd had something happen. It was there sat in my head. Kat has regularly had this share of mind. She's been there for a long, long time. It had the parallels with the fact that I've got this bear, completely different sizes, I know, but they look, they sit like this on my desk now. It's lovely. All that came together in that one moment, and in that one moment it was right for me to purchase. It wasn't right for me to purchase a year ago. It wasn't right for me 2 years ago when I first saw her. But the fact that she's been consistently in my mind, consistently being seen, that as soon as I saw her, I went, of course. I didn't go looking anywhere else. It wasn't a case of I thought, right, okay, yes, I want a handmade bear now. Yes, I've got a reason why. Now I'm going to go look elsewhere. I didn't want to look anywhere else. I knew that Kat was the right person for me to buy from, and I simply had to make the decision about which bear to buy. And that's your ideal customer. Your ideal customer will be a fan of you, will love you, will admire you, and will know that they want to buy from you for some reason. Whether that reason is because you make things for weddings, and as soon as they get married, they get engaged, they're going to know that they're coming to you. Whatever that reason is, there will be a trigger. You need to understand that trigger, and you are appealing to people before that trigger happens. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because that's a really clearly important point there, that there is a trigger for expensive handmade purchases. Now, if you're on the lower end of the market and people buy just because they love it and it's there, that's great, that's absolutely fine. But I am talking about considered purchases here. I'm thinking about your customers who need that reason to buy. So, what's the trigger for your customer? Who is your ideal customer? Why do they buy from you? What reason? This is a collectible item. Now, some people will buy just simply because they collect bears, and maybe they have an allowance where they buy once a year, twice a year, whatever it is that they treat themselves, and that's what they save their money for, and that's what they do. For me, I'm not a big collector of bears. That's my collection. They have a reason, they have a sentimental purpose. What's the trigger for your ideal customer? You need to know, you need to understand that. You need to follow and be prepared to be, you are creating a relationship here. It's a friendship almost. And the moment that you can help, that's the reason you step up. That's when you're there. That's when Kat stepped up for me. It was like, wow, yes, of course I can do that for you. And here we are. So step inside the mind of your ideal customer. We're all different. We all have different reasons. Your ideal customer is your niche that fit into the largest box, if you like. In other words, I'm probably out here on Kat's box. Collectors of teddy bears will really be the specific niche. But I'm out here. So it's worth a blog post. It's worth mentioning every now and again in social media that somebody buys for sentimental reasons and what's the perfect way to remember somebody. I'm being quite naughty because, and I've spotted Jane's on. Hi Jane. I'm also going to be buying a memory bear from Jane as well for my nan. I'm being a bit greedy. The trouble with knowing so many wonderful makers and crafters is that when you know you want something, I want both. Now Jane, this is going to sound awful. I've been very lucky that one of my aunts has sent me one of my nan's old blouses, and my nan wore blouses all the while. Always quite distinctive, really, quite strong patterns, and Jane's going to turn that into a memory bear for me. So I've now got this, which does that, and then I'm going to have a memory bear which will sit on my bed. And actually, customers do have to justify. Customers have to, we don't want buyer's remorse. We don't want this regret that they've purchased. We want that, yes, brilliant that I've purchased. And so they have to have a reason to buy. And my reason for doing both is I have 2 children who both love their nan very, very much, and we're both very, very upset. So if I've got 2, there's effectively 1 each should they ever need one, should they ever want one. They weren't around when I was 15. It wasn't a consideration then. That's fine. So we're going to have 2 of these. Well, 1 of these and 1 memory bear, courtesy of Jane. I've just got to parcel it up and get it off to her. So yeah, that's it. You need to get inside the mind of your ideal customer. We're all different, and just in the way everything you make is different, your customers are different, but there will be, I'm going to say commonality. Is that even a word? There will be something that pulls all your ideal customers together, the kind of triggers. For me, it's being sentimental and having a little bit of a collection. Yeah, that's the purpose for this. Why do your customers buy? What's going on in your customer's mind? What do you understand about them? What do they want to do that you can help them with? What is going to be their ultimate trigger to buy that you can then make sure that you are there for? But the really important part of this is it's a long game. It's not you show up today, you say, do you knock on the door, do you want to buy this? Yes, I'll buy it. That isn't how we sell handmade. It isn't. It just, if you're cheap, it might work. But in the long run, this is a long game. You are getting in front of people, they're falling in love with you, and then when they are ready, they will buy. Sometimes that will be a 2-3 week process, sometimes it'll be a few months, and sometimes it'll be a few years. Don't worry that you're collecting fans who love you, who adore you, and keep passing these wonderful comments, but never buy. When the time is right, when they need what you offer, by staying in their mind, by being present, by being seen, you will be the person they come to when they are ready to buy. They won't be looking elsewhere. They'll be coming to you. Okay? So keep going. Keep posting on social media. Keep tweeting. Keep sharing your images. Keep emailing. Get out there. Be seen. Be proud. Show off your work. You're amazing at what you do. Be proud of what you do. Give people the opportunity to see you, to fall in love with your products, and then when they are ready, they will buy from you. It's about giving them those opportunities to see what you're doing, so when they are ready, they will buy. Think about it. Why do we have adverts on TV? Why do all the big different companies that are out there, from washing powder brands to cars to televisions to all of these people, why are they constantly on our TV screens or on the radio, on billboards, on our social media? Why are they constantly there? Because they know that it's that constantly being seen, it's that repetitive drumming in, if you like, that enables their customers to remember them and come to them when they are ready to buy. Okay? So keep going, keep tempting people, keep showing people what it is that you do. I know sometimes it can feel like you're talking to an empty room, but one day that room will be full of people and they'll all go, yes, I'm ready to buy. And that's what we're waiting for. Right, I'm going to go now. I've got lots and lots to get on with. Today's the first day of Make Your Way to Success, so I'm really excited. I've got to go make sure that everyone can get logged in and everybody can find everything they need to do and go over and do some chatting in the group over there. Still time to join us if you want to. Just pop over to handcraftedbusiness.com and there's a link on there that says Make Your Way to Success. So it starts today. Click that one. There you go. You'll find all the information about it. Otherwise, have a fantastic day. I put a post up this morning. I'm going to try and do a post every morning on Instagram that shares to Facebook. And the one this morning was about be brave. Do something today that your tomorrow self will be proud of. So go on, what can you do today? Make sure it involves being seen by your potential customers, because that's what we're here for. The way to have a business that you love, the way to be able to spend more time making is to be seen more so you get more customers. So come on, it's the long game. Get on with it. Right then, I'm off. I shall speak to you soon. Bye.